Hi, my name is Yasmina McCarty. I head Mobile for Development at the GSMA. Mobile for Development at the GSMA is a group of programs which work on having social impact while still having underlying business models. In particular, we have three key enablers which our mobile network operators are working hard to deliver. First is connectivity. How do we get mobile internet out to the farthest corners of this continent? Second is mobile money and the ways in which it contributes to financial inclusion. And third is identity solutions for people who do not have any formal identification. On top of these three key enablers, we have something called the Ecosystem Accelerator, which looks to ensure that our innovators, small entrepreneurs, are finding their way to scale through partnerships with mobile network operators. Supporting these key enablers are a broader portfolio of programs. Firstly, agriculture. We've seen that if you want to have digital inclusion in rural areas, you need to ensure that you have locally relevant information for farmers like Agri does. Another program we have is health, which focuses on health information for mothers and mothers-to-be to ensure that their children get the right kind of nutritional content they need to grow strong. Another program we have looks at disaster response, ensuring that mobile network operators are well prepared to have network resilience in times of crisis. Another area we look at, which is very important to us, is connected women, particularly ensuring that women have digital and financial inclusion on the other programs that I mentioned. That's Mobile for Development in Africa. This combination of programs, we believe, is in a very high impact way for the mobile network operator industry to deliver value back to the end users. So we know that operators invest significantly in this continent, but it's not just purely connectivity, it's also the relevant services that end users need to run their lives. We see great examples of this in agriculture, in health, and we really see great examples of this in closing the gender divide. Women are 13% less likely to have access to mobile internet than men, and we see our mobile network operators trying to find solutions to close these gaps. The reason we find these gender gaps in connectivity and financial inclusion is that barriers around affordability. So women may not have the same income levels to buy the smartphone to enable them to connect to mobile broadband. Barriers around culture. It may not always be considered appropriate for women to have these phones and have that independence. Barriers around harassment. Women are worried that if they get onto the internet, they might start being harassed, or social media apps. And barriers around digital literacy. So we find that given the educational gap between men and women, sometimes women are less comfortable exploring all the full range of options. We think this is a solvable problem, and we think this is solvable in a way that we can close this gap quickly, but we believe we need to act now, and we're very pleased with the commitment our operator members are making to try and close this gap, both in digital and financial inclusion for women. Just in terms of overcoming the challenge around harassment, we've seen that operators have set up really smart apps to give the end user, to give the women more control and blocking around who contacts her. This is a great way to let women feel comfortable that they can get online, use the internet, and not be harassed. In fact, their concern is much more one of what could happen as opposed to something that actually does happen. But by operators creating that comfortable environment for them to come online, we see women being more comfortable to join the internet revolution. Also, in terms of addressing the cultural barriers around getting women using the internet, we've seen operators take some really smart approaches with things like combo packs, where both the husband and the wife, or the father and the daughter, can get a SIM. They both then have a family plan. This is obviously commercially logical. It also has great social impact. Mobile money is one of the very exciting stories that the industry can celebrate in the African continent. Indeed, one of the great successes is celebrated starting in Kenya, which is a story we all know. But more importantly, we're now at scale. So there's about 300 million people worldwide who have a mobile money wallet. Of that, 146 million are based here in the African continent, which is a testament to the scale and innovation that has been achieved. Another exciting thing is the level of markets that have mobile money services. So there's 38 countries in sub-Saharan Africa that have mobile money services, and not one, but multiple. So that's 137 mobile money services in Africa alone. So we see a great offering for the customer, healthy amount of competition, different products and services, and we see the customer responding well, as demonstrated by the scale. This is great for the operators. There's a strong commercial story about what mobile money can do for telecom, but it's also great for financial inclusion, and we see significant social impact being achieved through mobile money in Africa. So the guys who are having success in mobile money in Africa is almost all of them. So we see all the operator groups investing very heavily in mobile money. We see groups like Orange, Airtel, Millicom, MTN making significant plays in this space. Regionally, there was traditionally much more traction in East Africa, but now we're starting to see some exciting things happen in West Africa. Côte d'Ivoire is a great example where we have an interoperable school fee solution. So individuals can actually pay for their school fees through the mobile money wallet, saving themselves a trip to the bank or some other convenient location. Unfortunately, in Nigeria, we haven't yet seen mobile money thrive, and there are many complexities when it comes to regulation. And there's perhaps much more we can do as an industry to ensure that mobile money can thrive in the full parts of this continent rather than just certain countries. On the subject of connectivity, we believe there is much more to be done. There's a lot of people today who now have access to some form of connectivity, but the number who have access to mobile internet in Africa is still quite low. Operators are keen to invest in this area, and GSMA and its members are working more on how we address the rural coverage gap and extend our services to the last mile. We're also looking very closely at the issue of digital literacy and digital skills. When end users first get a smartphone, it's very important that they know how to use it and that they can explore and enjoy the full range of services. That's not the case today, and as an industry we believe there's a bit more that we can do. Finally, the issue of affordability is very important. We still see in many countries luxury good taxes being placed on smartphones. And if we continue to treat smartphones as a luxury good, it greatly limits the level of digital inclusion that we will have in these countries. So we hope to do much more on the topic of connectivity. We believe that digital inclusion can be brought about, and that the telecoms within the GSMA membership will work hard to close this gap and connect the next 2 billion. This is Yasmina McCarty, Head of Mobile for Development at the GSMA. Thank you.